We're the Heartbreakers.
And you're watching Cheap Shot Entertainment.
Really?
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. We have had a full weekend of wrestling, independent British wrestling, the best on the planet, the best the planet has to offer in the wrestling world, and I fully believe that. This is why we created Cheap Shot Entertainment, and that's why I call you the Cheap Shot Nation. Once again, I am your host Luke, and we're going to take you through everything that happened at the House of Pain doubleheader in Beeston on the 9th of March 2019. There was a matinee show which started at 3 o'clock and an evening show which started at 6:30, and it was really good. Both shows really good. The matinee crowd was smaller in size but made a lot more noise than the evening crowd. I don't know what happened to the evening crowd. I don't know whether that's what they are usually like, but the wrestling warranted more crowd interaction, shall we say. But I'm just going to take you through quickly everything that happened on the show. I'm not going to go into details of the matches. I'm just going to give you winners and how they won those matches, and it's going to be short, sharp and sweet, and that's the way we like it on this one. However, on the next video we'll be doing a full review of the Aspire March Madness show, which took place on the 10th of March 2019 at the St. Martin's Church in Allenton in Derby. So yeah, without further ado, make sure you do all those things that you usually do on YouTube. Make sure you leave us a comment in the comment section down below, give us a thumbs up and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and we'll take you through everything that happened at House of Pain on the 9th of March 2019. So we start the show with a tag team match. It is The Firm, which is Spike Cage and Stevie Mitchell, and they are going against the Heartbreakers, Zach Morris and Riley Nova, also known as the High School Heartbreakers, of course, in Hope Future. So the match was a back and forth affair. Obviously they got the high flying Heartbreakers and the hard hitting Firm. So the match finishes with the Heartbreakers on top. However, one of the Heartbreakers gets isolated, and the winners are the Heartbreakers. And there's a fireman's carry neck breaker for the win, and that's a double team. So fireman's carry onto the knee of the other person, and the winners are the High School Heartbreakers. I seem to remember that very well. Seems how it happened yesterday. Proves how good my memory is and how tired I am from being up at 6:15 this morning for work. So yes, your winners are the Heartbreakers, and they beat the Firm. I seem to remember the Firm saying that the Heartbreakers cheated, but they didn't, obviously, because they are the face team, and the Firm were very much the team that was cheating all the way through that match, but didn't come out on top. Your winners are the Heartbreakers. Your next match on the matinee show on the 9th of March 2019 was a female match. Was a female match? Was a women? Oh my god, I'm so tired. Sorry for anybody who's religious. I'm so tired. It was a women's division match in House of Pain, and it was Miss Massive with the massive guns. Anybody who says she doesn't have muscles is a liar. She's got loads of muscles. She's Jessica Logan. I might have to start this again. Jessica Logan, and she is going against the returning Georgie Archer. So obviously Jessica Logan is out there with the loudmouth Davey Thompson in her corner, being a loudmouth all the way through this match, and being quite entertaining. I'd quite like a Davey Thompson t-shirt if you could send one my way. I will wear it on my videos and I'll give you full credit for the t-shirt, Davey, if you're watching this. I know a lot of wrestlers do. So I want to branch out into House of Pain. Anyway, the match finishes. Georgie Archer is quite impressive. Size and strength advantage over Jessica Logan, the Miss Massive. Loads of muscles. And she uses those traits that she has to ground Jessica Logan. But the match finishes with Georgie Archer holding Jessica Logan in a carry in a supine position. This is where Davey Thompson gets involved. The referee can't see what Davey Thompson is doing. He grabs the foot, he trips Georgie Archer. No one saw a thing except me, because I'm reporting it on this video. It was completely above board. It was all within the rules, because if the referee doesn't see it, then it can't be disqualified. Your winner, after Davey Thompson pulls the leg of Georgie Archer and then holds those legs down so Jessica Logan can get the pin, is Jessica Logan, Miss Massive. So your next match is a singles match. It is scheduled for 1/4, and it is one half of Hellbound, or should I say 1/3 of Hellbound, because we also have Harley the Hellbird in that mix as well. Alton Thorne, former heavyweight champion, former tag team champion in the Hellbound team, and he is going against Ash Cady. Comes out to the Scarface music, Push It to the Limit. What a tune that is. Anyway, really interesting affair. Ash Cady, sort of a mix of power and speed, and Alton Thorne is just basically ground and pound. Ground and pound. Just using all his strength and his viciousness against Ash Cady, which does lead him to pick up the win in this match against Ash Cady. The very much the fan favourite is Ash Cady, but Alton Thorne manages to get a TKO on Ash Cady for the win. Ash Cady cannot kick out, but he goes away with some fanfare from the crowd in the matinee show of House of Pain on the 9th of March 2019. But your winner, picking up some momentum, perhaps in his attempt to regain the heavyweight championship, is Alton Thorne. So that is where we have a break, and the beginning of the second half is Better Than You, Brad Matthews versus newcomer Xander Zulu. Never heard of this guy before. I've heard him mentioned on the House of Pain Facebook page. Go and check that out. House of Pain on Facebook. Also House of Pain fans on Facebook as well, which is really good. Yeah, great source of information there. So I've heard that Xander Zulu has had a couple of matches, not seen him in person. Comes out very much playing the sort of Zulu warrior kind of role, which is basically why it's called Xander Zulu. He's also from South Africa as well, which is quite cool. It's not very often you see someone from a different country over here doing the wrestling stuff, unless they bring them in for a special match. Yeah, great to see Xander Zulu. Heard so much about him, and he is very impressive. In fact, he does get the win in this match with an assisted rope assisted facebuster. Is the only way I could describe it. He sort of got Brad Matthews in a sort of belly to back suplex position, bounced his legs off the ropes, and then smashed him into the floor. And that's what I came up with. It's a rope assisted facebuster from Xander Zulu to pick up the win. in this match and some momentum. Don't think he's lost yet, which is quite impressive actually for a newcomer. But yeah, there's a lot of fanfare behind this guy. So yeah, watch out for Xander Zulu coming to a town near you. Your winner is Xander Zulu. And so that takes us to your main event of the matinee show on the 9th of March 2019 for House of Pain in Beeston. It is Big Freaking Dan, Joseph Starr and Troy Goose forming a formidable trio known as the Big Juicy Stars. And they are going against Brandon Brooks, Sarge Malik and H Block, returning H Block. Never seen H Block, heard little things about him, and obviously the big fanfare around his return to Beeston and House of Pain. Quite an impressive young wrestler, in fact, is H Block. Can fly, can do all the runny stuff, can do all the technical stuff. It's everything you want in a wrestler in one single package. Anyway, like I say, multi-man matches, very difficult to keep up with what's going on. There was some heelish tactics, of course, from Goose's team, which the referee didn't see, and neither did any of the crowd, because it didn't happen, except I'm reporting it on here, because I get the inside scoop. And anyway, the match finishes after a melee of all 6 men. The match finishes with a flying splash from Sarge Malik to Troy Goose for the pin. Hashtag pin for the win for Sarge Malik and his team. So yeah, H Block picks up a win in his first match back in Beeston, and Brandon picks up a much needed win with his momentum towards the full throttle title and the potential of picking up his very first title in House of Pain Wrestling. And with everything that's happened in House of Pain recently, a lot of championships changing hands, this may just be his building block for that very first championship. So your winners are Brandon, Sanj Malik and H Block, and they go over Goose, BFD and Joseph Starr. The fallen star Joseph Starr looks better with his mask on, incidentally, and he was featured in Left Lion magazine, so I suggest you go and pick that up or try and find the article on the Left Lion website. Very good magazine is Left Lion. I did have dealings with them very briefly when I took some photography for them for a music festival that I did some photography for. So yeah, very good magazine. Suggest you go and check that out. So as I said at the beginning of the video, it was a double header in Beeston. We had enough time to go to the pub, have something quick to eat before the evening show. We even saw the firm on the way, and yeah, pretty nice guys actually. Even though they act like bullies in the ring, they're pretty cool. We had a little bit of banter with them as we were walking to the pub. So pub, sorry, I'm not from London, I'm from Derbyshire. Yeah, so we went to the pub in between, and this is the start of the first half of the evening show, and I'm going to transition straight into my normal talking voice for YouTube. So we have the first match. It is Troy Goose, and he is trying to get some revenge on Mark Lesick. Formerly he had a match with Mark Lesick and lost to Mark Lesick. Troy gets the better of him in this match actually. Mark Lesick doesn't really come up with any offense that much in this match, and Troy hits 2 knees to the back of the head in quick succession to Mark Lesick and picks up the victory in this one. Very rare win for Troy Goose. In fact, he did wrestle on the matinee show, which we've already covered in this very video, and lost that match. So quite impressed with Troy Goose. Big fan of the Goose. Big fan of the Goose. So yeah, knee to the back of the head and a pin for Troy Goose gets him a victory and momentum, and he keeps, incidentally, it was for the title shot that Troy Goose has won. I'm not quite sure how he won that, probably an over-the-top battle royal. Usually seems the way that these things are won. And yeah, it was for that title shot. So if Mark Lessick won that match, he would have taken Troy's title shot. He didn't. Troy keeps his title shot, and he gets a guaranteed title shot later down the line. And the second match on the evening show of the 9th of March 2019 features Alton Thorne, another man who had wrestled earlier in the day, and H-Block. He wrestled earlier in the day in that 6-man tag with Troy Goose, in fact. So Alton Thorne is 1-1 on the 9th of March 2019 because he loses this match to H-Block via a roll-up after reversing a stalling suplex. So Alton Thorne gets H-Block in a suplex, stalls for a little bit, hoping to let the blood rush to H-Block's head, and H-Block manages to squeeze out of it and roll Alton Thorne up for the pin. Pin for the win, hashtag pin for the win. I'm going to get that put on a t-shirt and I'm going to start selling them. Hashtag pin for the win. Yeah, so H-Block victorious again, 2-0 on the 9th of March 2019 in House of Pain in Beeston. Your winner in this match is H-Block. The next match is a 6-man tag match, features the loudmouth Davey Thompson, his tag team partner Bjorn, and Mr. Number 2 is Niall Hines, and they're going against Owen Ocean and Bear, the collective team known as the Man of Wars, and Tristan Wheeler makes up their trio of faces. So this match had a lot of distraction techniques in it, you can only imagine, with Bjorn and especially Davey Thompson, as well as Niall Hines, who was getting quite a rap from the Beeston crowd in the evening show. Probably the most vocal that the evening crowd were during this show. I've always said that the crowd can make or break a show, and the wrestling was absolutely fine. The match was really good. I really enjoyed it, but every time we tried to get a chant going, I don't know whether it's the fact that people were just tired or what, I don't know, but join in, people. That's what you're paying your money for. Make it interesting. Make the wrestlers think that they've come there to put on a show and that they're entertaining you, whether they're face or heel. Clap them, cheer them, boo them, do whatever you want, within reason, obviously, but make them feel like they're doing a good job, and then they'll put on a better match. My goodness, come on, people. You paid £5 to get in. Just rant over. Anyway, your winners in this match are Davey Thompson, Bjorn, and Mr. Number 2, Niall Hines, and they win via a distraction from Davey Thompson, and Bjorn manages to hit a powerbomb from the ropes onto Bear for the pin. And incidentally, Bear was climbing the ropes to do his 10 count noggin knocker thing, and that's when the distraction came in and Bjorn managed to powerbomb Bear. Obviously there's a big size difference there and he wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise, but there you go. That's what happens in wrestling, and once again, if the referee can't see it, he can't disqualify them. So your winners are Davey Thompson, Bjorn, and number 2, Niall Hines. Next we have a rematch of the match that we last saw in Hina. I'm sure they've had other matches since, but the last time we saw these two in a ring together, it was in Hina in February. It's the traitorous, the great Tommy Taylor, or in our case, we like to call him Tommy Toilet or Tommy Toenail. We couldn't even get that chant going. Anyway, and he is going against the former House of Pain heavyweight champion in G-Wiz. And yeah, a really good match. These two put on a good match. They have good chemistry in the ring together. Very much a heel face dynamic here, and that's what makes it extra good. Titus Worldwide. I don't even know why I did that. So the match finishes in a crazy way. We get to see the returning Lucas Archer, Hina's own Lucas Archer. He returns from a lengthy injury. We haven't seen him since the cage match against Tommy Taylor, the match to end the feud, and it certainly did that because we got interference from Lucas Archer. He comes in and hits Garrett G-Wiz Bond with Tommy Taylor's cane, and he realigns himself with the treacherous Tommy Taylor, forming cheap shots and dreadlocks. Again, says that no one asked him how he was apart from Tommy Taylor, and that's an interesting way of putting these two back together, because I've never seen them as a tag team. I've always seen them as opponents, and it'd be nice to see how they go with that. Incidentally, Lucas Archer doesn't have dreadlocks anymore, so I don't know whether they're going to call themselves Cheap Shots and Buzz Cuts. I have no idea. Anyway, yeah, so Tommy Taylor wins, and G-Wiz then challenges both guys to a match, probably 2-on-1. At some point, maybe he'll get a tag team partner. That's usually the way these things are. But they played all their cards with the cage match in here, so I don't know where they're going to go with this one. Maybe a Falls Count Anywhere match could be quite interesting. But your winner is the treacherous Tommy Taylor, the great Tommy Taylor. So it's at this point we have a break in the show. Quite warm in the Beeston Youth Centre, in the Beeston Community Centre, so we spent most of the half time outside getting some fresh air. But we get the first match of the second half. It is Visage and versus LJ Heron and Kanji. Now, Harley won the Hope Women's Championship, the House of Pain Women's Championship, from Kanji, who was the first ever House of Pain Women's Champion, with help from Visage, the Queen of Queens. Of course, Visage was very much friends with Kanji, best friends in fact. Big hugs from him to her when she won the championship, but then he turned his back on his friend, and now they have a rivalry to rival the ages, because as well, and this team just did not get on. They did not have any chemistry. That being said, with LJ Heron in the ring as well, Kanji and LJ did have a bit more chemistry in the ring, but it would be the duo of Visage and Harley the Hellbird, the third member of Hellbound, who would pick up the win, with Visage hitting the Widow's Peak on Kanji. And yeah, like I say, after a very turbulent but ultimately successful pairing with Harley, very much the odd couple here. They were pushing, they were shoving, they were hitting each other. At one point, Kanji chucked Harley out of the ring, and the little girl was running past. That was heart in mouth moment. But the match went on. She didn't get hit. Thankful that she did not get hit, and the whole match carried on. It's quite a lengthy match. I think it, as good as it was, I think it deflated the crowd just a little bit, because they weren't quite there anyway. But the kids were sugared up after the break, so we got a little bit more interaction with the wrestlers and the crowd and everything else. But your winners in this match are the odd couple, Visage, and the House of Pain Women's Champion, Harley. So your final match of the evening is for the it is your champion, Diamond Dave Andrews, and he is going against the Tank Jackson Bane. Now, I quite like Jackson Bane. I think he's really cool. I'm not quite sure what his alignment is with Davey Thompson and Bjorn, because we're used to seeing him with the pro team in Hope Future, but obviously I know things are different in House of Pain. So it'd be Diamond Dave Andrews coming in as the champion, and he would eventually topple Jackson Bane with 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 diamond cutters to Jackson Bane. A very bloody and battered Jackson Bane, did have a bit of blood coming out of his nose. So he hit the diamond cutter 3 times, managed to get the pin on the big guy. And after the match, incidentally, Davey Thompson and Bjorn are down the Tank's ears saying, hit him with the belt, hit him with the belt. And Jackson Bane does not. He shows tremendous respect for the current reigning and defending champion, Diamond Dave Andrews, by shaking his hand and pulling him up and giving him the belt, as he won and defended that title with absolute valour. The heart of a champion. Dave Andrews is your winner 3 diamond cutters later, and he's still your House of Pain heavyweight champion. But wait, there's more, because we hear the goose music. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. And he does bring them out, and he brings out his championship shot as well, cashes it in on Diamond Dave Andrews, and makes his intentions very clear that he is going away from Beeston on the 9th of March with that House of Pain championship. He attacks Diamond Dave Andrews after the match, finally hits the knee to the back of the head. Troy Goose wins twice in one night and goes away the new House of Pain heavyweight champion. Your new heavyweight champion is the Goose, and you will listen to everything that he says because Cheap Shot Entertainment told you so. Troy Goose is your winner. He is jacked and juicy. He is your heavyweight champion, Big Papa Goosey. And so, that is everything that happened during the whole day. On the 9th of March, 9th of the 3rd, 2019, it took place in the Beeston Community Centre, and it was for House of Pain Wrestling, run by the heavyweight House of Pain Sticks, who we didn't see there actually, but we had a bit of conversation with him on Facebook, which was pretty cool. Yeah, that's everything that happened. We hope put you up to speed with a little bit more information than what's on the Facebook page. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Hit a diamond cutter on that subscription button, and something on that notification bell. Put your own move in there. Like I say, I'm really tired, so add a move into that one. This has been House of Pain Wrestling, and this has been everything that happened in Beeston on the 9th of March 2019. It was a matinee and an evening show. 2 shows for £8. Very reasonable price there if you want to check them out. They are back there in April, so that would be really cool. So like I say, 2 shows for £8, very, very good. A raffle ticket is £2, so for a tenner you get 2 shows and a raffle ticket, potentially winning tickets to the next show. So yeah, that is everything that happened. We are Cheap Shot Entertainment. You can join us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. We're going for #pin for the win here on Cheap Shot Entertainment. I have been your host, Luke, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.